hours away.
The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us, and remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
Sober Saturdays. Morning, Michelle. Good morning, listeners. Hola to you. I had a video. It had 2,225 watches. That's my biggest so far, man. So people are sharing my stuff, and some people already were. But I'm going to tell you, I appreciate everybody who's been sharing my stuff. Although you're probably never going to hear this because it comes out in clips or reels. Reels. It's really reels. It's reeling in the years really real. Yeah, I tried. It's all right. What's this? Oh, man. Yes, I have something healing. You know, there's nothing worse than being 55 and dealing with acne. Fucking A, man. What the fuck? It could be all the sugar I drink. It could be all the crap I put in my body, could it? Gee, could it be that? I don't know. Now, have you ever noticed that I do not do things, I don't cover things like, how do you deal with a narcissist? How do you deal with it? Because I'm going to tell you something. You probably haven't even really met a narcissist. You might have. I don't know. Okay. Good chance you have not. I've met a few in my life. Like true narcissists. Okay. Only 0.05 to 5% of the people in the world are narcissists. Okay. So, are they a narcissist? Or are you sensitive with unregulated emotions like I was? Huh. Come on. How to deal with a narcissist. You know, here's the thing. I'm an alcoholic. Okay? Which means, do you want to know one of the number one things we are diagnosed with if we are not honest about the fact that we are alcoholic? Narcissism. We have narcissistic traits, but we are not narcissists. No, that is an actual mental illness. It is a mental illness. They cannot help themselves. A lot of them feel really bad for who they are too, but they can't help themselves. Did you know that? Huh. So let's stop calling people names. All right. Let's stop it. We don't need to be, okay. And all the stuff's coming out again. 2%, only 2% of meth makers make it. Bullshit. That's not true either. Okay? Quit making it harder on the next person. Okay? Narcotics Anonymous would not be around if only 2% of you made it, folks. It wouldn't exist. There wouldn't be enough people to do anything with it. You wouldn't even have a book out. Okay? Let's think about these things. All right. Hey, Nick, what's going on, dude? What's going on? Morning, Amber. Amber says, good morning, good morning. Michelle says, yeah, the sugar stage should have left you 8.5 years ago. Yeah. Okay. Where did that come from? All right. So I'm just seeing it again. Oh, did you know Jessica Simpson is suddenly 8 years sober and has hit rock bottom? Here we are again. Jessica Simpson, you don't even know what the fuck rock bottom is. Not even close. All right. I'm sorry you couldn't write your songs because the alcohol blocked it. That's not rock bottom, my friend. All right. I'm glad she's sober though. Good on her. Good job. Good job. That's all I said was good job. It's just stupid. All right. Anyway. Should we get to Dion's daily funnies? Let's get to it. All right. The rest of this won't be. I'm just. I've just noticed that people are like, how do I deal with a narcissist? And it's huge, man. It's impossible. The numbers do not match. Okay. The numbers do not match. There are two sides to every story. It takes two to tango. I'm not saying there hasn't been abuse or things out there. I'm not saying that. All right. So, Michelle said, you brought it up, said you get a lot of sugar. Yeah, but I didn't ask for advice on when to quit. I'm fucking around, Michelle. All right. It didn't bother me. I'm just trying to have a little fun this morning. That's all. So, all right. What do you call a bundle of hay in a church? Christian Bale. I watch a lot of stuff with Christian Bale in it because I watch one of the Batmans almost every single night. So, how does cereal pay its bills? By checks. Oh, we moved into groaner jokes. I'm gonna have to go down a little bit because we just did these yesterday. All right. I don't get why bakers aren't wealthier. They make so much dough. How do you make this is an old one. I don't even have to look at it. It's that old. How do you make a tissue dance? Put a little boogie in it. Doesn't have to be a big boogie, just a little. Although if you have a big boogie, there you go. I asked my wife if she was the only one she slept with. She said yes, the others were 7 and 8s. The only one, because he's not very good looking. All right. All right. How do flat earthers travel? On a plane. I ordered a chicken and an egg from Amazon. I'll let you know. Yeah, I'll let you know what happens. All right. Amber says the big book doesn't say you'll stop craving sugar after the first year. Shut up. Yeah, where is it in the big book? It says I got to quit sugar. It's not in the big book. I don't have to do that. Oh, that's funnier than the rest of the jokes, except for the Christian Bale one. All right, welcome to the Daily Trudge. My name's Dion, or you may call me the Podfather. I will allow you to call me that. All right, if you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. Amber, you did not answer me yesterday. I sent you a picture of what I was thinking of. You did not answer me, and I'm curious of your thoughts. If you could give me some of your thoughts, because I'm thinking we could use cardboard and stuff. And what I'm talking about are the sock puppets with the face, making a face and stuff out of them. So anyway, for anybody not following. All right, man, we got a lot of chat today. I have no reading. I don't have a reading for this. No, I stole it from Jimmy Carr, who is a comedian. Oh, and boy, is he a British comedian. He gets pretty bad, but he's very wise. He's not just funny; he's a good guy. He's a really good guy. If if you have not, if you haven't, if you don't know what Jimmy Carr is, go look in Jimmy Carr at Carr, and he's a British comedian. You'll know him because he'll sound really droll, and when he laughs, it's like, so you'll know. All right, he's pretty funny. But I stole it from him, and it's right. It's correct. It is not the pursuit of happiness. Happiness is the pursuit. All right. So Amber says, "Is that thing supposed to be the mouth for the sock puppet?" Yes. Yes. Or something like that. So I know, and you were up really late last night. I was just trying to remind you, and I'm kind of a selfish fuck because I want what I want. But we could have like different designs, different shaped heads. I'm thinking cardboard, just cardboard and tape would probably work really well. So, and you could put scarves on these things. You can give them sets of hair, arms, right? We also watched the Muppet Show last night. I have to admit, I'm not a huge Seth Rogen fan. Okay. He did a great job. Good job, Seth. Good job. Thank you for taking it back to the way that the Muppet Show was. I appreciated that. Even though I had to see your ugly face twice. But thank you for doing that, Seth Rogen. He hasn't done anything. I mean, I'm sure he's a decent guy. Just his movies suck. But boy, he's entertained a lot of people. So I better not harp on Seth Rogen because there's probably a lot of my listeners probably listen to Seth. Now they're like, you know what, Dion, fuck you. It's time to get things started. It's time to set the lights. All right, when I chased happiness, I found misery. When I chased spiritual growth, I found happiness. Right? And because I don't know about you, but I used to run around. If I had this, it would make me happy. I wish I could just be happy, 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 happy. But the thing is, I never really did anything that would make me happy. The only thing that made me happy was the thought of being able to drink. And then when I got it, I didn't even really want it no more. Hmm. Weird. Michelle's what are you making a puppet for? We're making a hand puppet. So I'm putting on I'm trying to think of a new show. It's gonna be like a little comedy show. It'd probably be more skit oriented. Kind of like the Muppets, but recovery oriented. It's gonna be hilarious. And it also not be for children. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It will probably not be for children. Okay. We're gonna be making fun of some adult stuff, right? Like the other day, Amber sent me a message and said, I'm really tired. How did I get, what the fuck? Suddenly I have 10, 11, 12. I mean, I'm literally watching the number of, uh, of, uh, notifications I have on Facebook just go up. I bet somebody just went through my stuff and went, love, 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 love. And I bet it was Lori. Let's go check. Nope. Nope. Amber, you're a shit. But thank you. It was all Amber. Michelle says, oh, because you don't have enough to do. There's one of my friends trying to protect me from putting too much on my plate. Do you remember earlier in the week I said I was getting rid of some things? You remember that? You remember I said I'm getting rid of some things. Everybody thought I was turning my back on everything. No, I'm just getting rid of some things so that I can do some things that Dion wants to do. Yeah. So, all right, let's get back to this, right? So we are not promised constant pleasure. We are promised a new freedom and a new happiness. All right. And it's new. We kind of need new, don't we? Because our old happiness just it wasn't really working, right? But the point of this one is that, I mean, like show me somebody that was born rich but doesn't have, but they're miserable because they don't have, because the happiness isn't about the material things or things like that. It's the process which it takes to do something. The end result isn't really what makes you happy. That might make you satisfied. It's the fun that you have on the way during the adventure, right? Even today, even right now during this, we've talked about a couple of hard things, but we're here laughing, huh? Because we're happy. Why are we happy? Because I'm not hungover. That's good enough for me, right? That's good enough for me. Yeah, Amber caught it. She said this is going to be his creative outlet. I'm gonna try. Yeah, I tell you now, I'm probably gonna end up spending a lot of money at Hobby Lobby. But that's why I can't do regular puppets. I don't know how yet. I know that my brother-in-law has some though. Maybe you'll let me borrow his. Maybe you'll let me buy his because he doesn't use them anymore. So maybe, I don't know. He doesn't really talk to me anymore because we moved out. We're not mad at each other, just life. So, but um, was were the 12 steps easy to go through? No, you need then didn't you go through with a sponsor and you guys kind of did it together, things like that. And you got to know each other, you had a little bit of fun. And we end up having a little bit, I was going to give you an example, right? And the example was, and see, this would be a great joke. You have a ton of supplies. All right, cool. I won't spend any money. You got it. I'm listening. Hey, Neil. Neil snuck in here. Jimmy Carr did a what? Your mother? Sorry, that's exactly what Jimmy Carr would say, though. Amber sends me a message. She says, "Man, I'm tired." And I wrote back, "Are you feeling tired? You need to try crack." Right? Oh, Michelle says, "I see someone in the public eye that is a narcissist, born rich and miserable." Are you just combining everything? Now she's just taking all my topics. Sorry, Neil. I guess I don't really know you well enough to say that, do I? And we're on a roll today. All right. All right, let's get serious. Let's get serious. Uh, did a joke about Prince Andrew and Jeff Epstein. I'm gonna have to go find that. I'm gonna have to go find that one. I bet it's good. I bet it's good, right? All right. So, right. So we are not promised constant pleasure. We're promised a new freedom and a new happiness. And even that new freedom can really lead to happiness. But what is happiness? Happiness is a secondary emotion. Okay. And it is produced from other things. So happiness is the result, not the goal. Right? Yeah. Because if you're striving to be happy, you're missing being happy right now. Yeah. But Dion, I'm having a hard day. Give yourself permission to start your day over. You can start your day over anytime you want. Hey, Daryl. Daryl says, I did not enjoy my first four step, by my opinion, after changed after the fifth step. Sure. Yeah. Well, sometimes we go through things. The first time you chair, oh, you're not going to want to do it. You're not going to want to do it. Well, maybe you are. But for a lot of us, there's a wide brush here. All right. This is what I see happen. Oh, I'm really nervous. I'm really nervous. You start reading, you get through it, you forget the serenity prayer, you mess up a bunch of words. It turns into a great meeting. At the end of the meeting, you're like, I want to do that again. A new happiness, a new freedom. These are the promises. And it's going to happen more than once. It's not going to happen once. No, there's a lot of new happiness and a lot of new freedoms to find in the program, in your life. It isn't just going to be one, right? Neil, now you make me feel bad. He says, I never knew my mother, right? You're making me feel bad. Okay, I don't feel bad no more. I do apologize, though. If I offended or hurt your feelings, I do apologize. Michelle says, this hangs on my wall. Happiness is not a destination, it is a way of life. Why, you know, part of this is so Dion can enjoy the moment, so Dion can be a part of, right? Let's say when I was drinking, I got together with four other friends. So there's five of us and a six pack. If you're like me, you've already figured out the problem. There's one remaining beer. I said six pack. I never said beer, by the way. Okay. See, your thought process is going to go with it. All right. No, I'm not in that conversation. No, I'm not. Why? Because number one, I'm thinking about who is getting the last beer, because somebody's only one person out of this is going to get two. And that's not enough. Two beers is not enough. I'm not in this conversation. That's what alcohol did to me. It removed me from these conversations. It removed me from being a part of something good in life. Now, if I got together with four friends and a six pack, first of all, probably Coke, but I would be involved in that conversation now because my mind isn't racing towards wanting a bunch of different things in life. In fact, maybe I just got bad news, but I'm hanging out with my friends and I'm able to put that bad news aside for a little bit to participate in what's going on. That's the difference. Yeah. I know a lot of people who have absolutely no money, they have no materialistic things, and they love life. Well, Amber posted a picture of like this really small house, right? It was like $3,000. I'm going to tell you something. It looks great to me. I would live in a minute. It'd be me, my wife, and my four cats. Oh my God, that would drive my wife nuts. But if it was just me and my wife, it would work out actually. Yeah. I mean, I love comfy, right? We live in this 5 bedroom house. It's too big for me. But the cool thing is everybody gets their own space, which is I think is really important, right? Daryl says familiarity. Whew, glad I didn't say that fast. Can become comfort, but comfort may not mean pleasure. Yes, I would agree with that. Sometimes, let's talk about that, right? Being in my comfort before was the familiar. And what was the familiar? The chaos. Because at least I understood that. That part I got because my life was that way, right? So I would take comfort in my pleasure, but there was real no happiness. Okay. Now, for a long time, alcohol, when I started drinking, like when I came back and I started drinking at 30, 31, something like that. All right. It's a sauna. You can't live in a sauna. You watch me. She said, it's a fucking sauna. You can't live in a sauna. Watch me. I'm from the streets. Just don't plug it in. That's so funny. That's so funny. Sorry. Right? And you hear people all the time. Why did you go back to your abuser? It's because it's what they knew. It isn't, they didn't really make a decision go back. It's because it's what they knew. It was familiar. Right? So it can be a dangerous place. Oh, so when I first started drinking again, I would drink and I would have hours of joy. Hours. Even the full night. Not all my drinking was bad. Right? This is the way I say it. I didn't get in trouble every time I drank, but every time I got in trouble, I had been drinking. There. Right? So not everything was bad for a while. Now, towards the end of my drinking, we're going to fast forward 12, 13 years later. Okay. Now, where I used to get hours of joy and relief, it changed on me. See, what alcohol did is it started shortening that time I was okay. Because number one, my alcoholism had progressed and it took more alcohol to get there, right? So it started to get shorter and shorter. And my wife and I sat down and figured out how much relief Dion gets when he is drinking towards the end of his drinking. It was about 10 minutes between the time when I hit that perfect level before I was either not drunk or insanely drunk. That was it. That's all I got. The rest of it was hell, torture. 10 minutes is what I got. And I would look forward to at least those 10 minutes. Right? Nowadays, no. Right? Last night I started getting a little pissy. I was able to change it around. We had fun. I just thought I don't like plans being disrupted. I'm not always the best at it. When the plan changes suddenly. I'm working on it. So what did I used to pursue? Well, comfort, escape, pleasure, relief, approval, control. If I feel better, I'll be okay. If I just have this, I'll be okay. If I just do this, I could quit drinking. If I just do that. I would be happy if this person would do that. Oh, I no longer base my happiness upon other people. No, that's not totally true. Right? I had kids and grandkids stuff. Sure. When my wife's having a bad day or a hard day, it is hard for me to be in a good mood because I can feel it. We're very connected, and it's not doing anything wrong. I'm the one with the empathy, right? So, what does the big book say on that though? That self-centered pursuit leads to chaos, and gosh, how very true for Dion. When Dion decides to make all the decisions all by himself because he thinks he knows what he's doing, and I don't care how much time I have sober or in recovery, I don't think that's ever going to be a good idea. I don't. I'm a pretty smart guy, but when it comes to life, I can be pretty stupid. Let's go with naive. Means unknown. I don't know yet. Not stupid. Yeah. Sorry, dear. We chased relief. I would chase relief and call it happiness. Oh, I just have this person in my life. I had this amount of money. It never worked, did it? It was never really achieved because I would set these really high goals for myself that I just knew I couldn't reach. And when I failed, gosh, it gave me a great excuse to get drunk, especially when I could get other people to agree to the fact that it was okay for me to get drunk over this. All right. So, where was the turning point for a lot of this? Well, probably step 3, when we decided, 2 and 3, when we decided to turn our will and our life over to power grading ourselves. Yeah, that's the first time I stopped chasing my feelings and started chasing alignment, and alignment with a power greater than myself. Yeah. And I always ask for direction. Yeah. Yes, a man who asks for directions. Unless we're driving somewhere, then fuck you. I ain't asking. My wife and I always get lost. We always get lost. Even on the way to my mother's, we'll get lost. So I started taking the way I know. We're getting there. We used to be really good at it, but hold on a second, please. All right. So we stopped trying to manage happiness, and I started to practice surrender, right? And surrender is what brought the happiness. Because when I surrendered, I was no longer trying to control everything around me, and that's where my unhappiness was coming from. See? So what was I doing? I was creating unhappiness in my life so I can continue drinking. Well, now I'm not drinking, so I don't need that anymore, do I? So now what do? Now I try and set myself up to have a good day. Yeah. Not always easy, right? It's, you know. So what happens? Well, the promises start to step in. We start to get a little bit of relief. What's the first thing that happens? Well, that that obsession to drink is kind of lifted. And that isn't that a neat thing. Next thing that happens is your head starts to kind of turn off. It doesn't race compulsively everywhere. It's been a long time since I've had to say, Dion, would you just shut the fuck up? You ever been that way when your head just will not shut up about a problem and you're trying to enjoy a show or something? Dion, would you just shut up, dude? Been a long time. Long time. So we will know a new freedom and a new happiness. We will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. That's part of the happiness. I knew how to handle that. It was so cool. How many times have you seen a person work through a problem? Right? We had somebody in our meeting. They lost their job like 3 weeks ago, and now they have a job they absolutely love. Oh, that is God working in their lives. A new happiness. God didn't want them there. Very clearly. In fact, I bet God's been trying to get them to quit that job for a long time. I bet. Right? And they're being moved around the country. Probably because there's a lot of people that this person needs to help. That's why. Yeah. When we decide and we change our intentions, that's when the change happens. When we change our intentions, right? So the big book doesn't really say that you'll achieve the happiness. It'll just give you that new freedom. It'll give you, and what is it a result of? Cleaning house, making amends, living honestly, right? Living by a set of spiritual principles. So happiness shows up when we live right. And you don't need to pursue happiness because it only happens in one place at one time, right now. It cannot happen any other time. Right? Now, you might think of a memory from the past that made you happy and it makes you happy right now. So, What else does it? Helping others. Helping others ensures immunity from drinking. It also creates happiness. And we make that shift from what can I get to how can I help? And then it changes. Then your service work produces meaning, and that meaning produces joy. And joy is happiness. All right. Michelle says, the answers to a problem come to me like magic. I agree. It does come from my higher power. Sweet. Magic. All right. You want to know, but you want to know what brings you more joy and happiness than any of this? See, should have stuck around for the like Bo Nick said, I feel bad for the crowd, for the fans that didn't stick around. You know what it is? It's acceptance. Acceptance is the key that'll set you free. Because what is the opposite of acceptance? Control. And when I decide that I'm no longer playing God, that I'm no longer controlling, and I'm accepting things for what they are, it eases my heart from hate and anger and angst and resentment and all these other things. It frees up my heart so that I can love. So acceptance brings more happiness. So when we stop demanding life to be different, peace increases. Happiness is not found in control, it's found in acceptance. So the more we accept, the more we rest. And then what happens? Then you have a spiritual awakening. And that changes your perspective, your reaction, your priorities. And then you start chasing something much different. Principles, honesty, humility, service. These are the foundation. That is the foundation. And then the happiness is a byproduct, it is a dividend of a job well done. So, chasing feelings failed. Living principles works. Happiness is not the goal, it's the result. And the pursuit is spiritual growth. The gift is joy. Thank you all for being here today. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out. And let's remember, no one ever, ever